We claps today. Welcome to episode number 3, World of Warcraft fans. We had a WhatsApp noise in the intro, so we had to do the intro a second time. Welcome to episode number 3. All roads lead to Westfall. Well, Windy right here has made a lot of journeys, and Windy's journey, well, we were in Dun Morgoth. Nothing really happened. Loch Modan was really bad. We quested all of Elwyn. We're level 14. Well, all roads lead to Westfall. Let's get back in and let's have a little lovely poops. Let's have a little lovely poops, and the WhatsApp sound cannot occur again because I muted the top, so F you. Let's get going. Let's get first get a little bit of food in here. Let's get a little bit of conjure water and conjure food, so we are battle ready. And we're basically gonna go full on into Westfall so that we can basically clear everything in one big swoop. The microphone, the hand camera is still up here, and we have a little update to the Final Fantasy situation. Basically, current stream plan is as follows. Well, if you're watching this on YouTube, this might actually not be true on YouTube because I have no idea how to schedule it on YouTube. But basically what we're going to do in about 2 weeks, currently we have the 15th of May, and on the 27th of May, so basically in 12 days, a new Final Fantasy 14 update will appear. The so-called relic grind will start. Basically a huge style weapon grind will happen in 2 weeks. It will be the first official start for the add-on Dawn Trail, and this guy right here wants to do this badly. So in about 2 weeks we're gonna go heavy hardcore into Final Fantasy for like at least 2 weeks. I think 1 week for sure, probably 2 weeks, because we have a lot of stuff to do. So we have to do quite the grind in Final Fantasy. So there will be a little switchy poop between World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy and RimWorld and Pokemon, and lots of content will happen. Another little stream mini update. Basically, it looks like I hopefully will be able to return to the old streaming schedule of 20 to 22:30 will be the old streaming schedule. We usually went to 23, so we're stealing about half an hour to get back onto the old schedule with a new job that I have. I still have to speak to the appropriate people, but it looks like that it should be very much doable. We'll see. Of course, they can always say no, and I will go, yes, okay. So they can always say no, but it currently doesn't really look like this is going to happen. So we might be able to come back to the regular schedule pretty soon. Really nice. So let's see. We have to go to Sentinel Hill. We have to go to the Saldine farmhouse. And before we go to the Saldine, we can't get the bruiseweed because we are not skill level 100. We need skill level 100 for bruiseweed to gather, and bruiseweed starts to appear here. So let's keep our eye out on our mini mapu. And the mini mapu will tell us what we shall find to need. And when will then be now? Soon. And if you know that reference, you're cool. Okay, so the sound is of course not happening again because Westfall just does not have background music. Because why would it have background music? That would be great. It doesn't. So yeah, let's see. Also, the quality of the last episode was vastly increased versus the first episode. If you look at episode 1 on YouTube and look at episode 2 on YouTube, you will see a pretty high contrast when it comes to visual clarity. Why is that? Well, as you undoubtedly have guessed, we are streaming in ultra wide. We're streaming in 21:9. That's the aspect ratio, and we're streaming in 3440 by 1440. That's the resolution that we have. 3440 by 1440. Now, here's why the quality is upgraded. I downscaled the visual quality of the stream to 2560 by 1080, so 1080p ultra wide. Well, why did I do this? Well, simply speaking, my PC is getting quite old for streaming. With the amount of stuff that I do, I have like 4 monitors here. I have like multiple USB devices over here, like multiple USB devices. There's a lot of stuff going on here, and the basically is coming to its limits. However, since we are playing World of Warcraft, we actually don't need so much performance. That might change once we drop back to Final Fantasy, so I might have to go downscale this again to full HD ultra wide. So we might lose a little bit of performance, so we have to regain that performance back in Final Fantasy. That being said, we're gonna try this. And if you watch this on YouTube, here's a fine little tip on YouTube. Resolution actually does not matter when it comes to quality. When it comes to video quality, for those who edit videos, you will know this. But if you edit videos and you change the amount of resolution that you have, your file size actually doesn't change. So you could have a 320 by 240, like a 240p picture, but it can have multiples and multiples and multiples of gigabytes of data because of the bitrate. The bitrate is all that matters when it comes to visual clarity in a picture. So you can have the smallest picture in the world, but it can be the most high fidelity picture because the bitrate is important. Now, take the first episode of World of Warcraft Classic Anniversary and the second episode and lay them side by side on your screen. You can only do that in a browser, of course. You can't really do that in an app, but do it on a browser and you will notice something. The quality that you can pick is different. The maximum quality you can pick on the first episode is 1440p, while on the second episode the maximum quality you can pick is 2160p. So translated to 1440p or 4K. Now why is that? Now YouTube only looks at one resolution when it comes to a bitrate that they serve you, and they only go how wide the picture is. And if the picture is 1440p, so that means it's 2560 in width, they are giving you the 2560 1440p resolution, even though the vertical, the height, is only 1080p, because they only look at the horizontal. So by manually choosing the higher bitrate, because remember, the source video I am putting on YouTube is only full HD ultra wide. However, the bitrate is 1440p. If you choose the higher bitrate for a full HD video, you get a more clear picture on YouTube. Of course, it's more data that you have to stream, so you need to have a connection for this. However, if you choose the higher bitrate than the video is rendered at, you get a better picture on YouTube. So that is why if you watch my 1440p stream on YouTube, which is the episode 2, you can choose the 4K option. Why can you choose the 4K option? Well, YouTube doesn't know 3440. They only know 3860. That is 4K. They don't know 3440. So they give you the bitrate that is available for 4K, even though what you're watching right here is not 4K. So if you want to increase your YouTube quality, you can choose a higher bitrate if it's available to have a clearer fidelity. Now, for the ultrawide users, that means if you upload a 1440p ultrawide video, you get the 4K resolution option. And someone wants to get into the group, so let's do this together, my dude. And let's kill some watchers. And yes, so for you guys who use an ultra-wide picture and maybe do ultra-wide content, well, if you export into ultra-wide, you get a better, higher resolution on YouTube. Really, really cool. It's really, really, really cool. Alrighty, so let's clear the watcher over there. And it, of course, is much, much, much quicker with a rando that helps us. Little tricks you learn along the way when you produce content for 15 years. By the way, speaking of making content for 15 years, I looked up my anniversaries. And my YouTube anniversary is on the 28th of January 2011. That is when I uploaded my very first YouTube video, and my very first stream happened on the 11th of June 2011. So I've been doing this almost for 15 years now. I've been doing this for 15 years on YouTube now. I missed my anniversary, but the streaming anniversary is coming up. Because I will, my account was created and I only created the account to stream. So I know this for a fact that I will have my streaming anniversary on the 11th of June this year. So in about a month. Quite fun. So I looked up my anniversaries. Quite cool, right? Alrighty, we have another Harvest Watcher over there. And as you can see, we switched to Frost immediately, and exclusively we are no longer using fire for our primary damage source. Alright. So let's look into the inventory. We don't really have anything interesting. As you know from the Turtle World of Warcraft episode, we have to hunt hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of monsters right here. Because all roads lead to Westfall. So, there is a bruiseweed, or what is there? There's a bruiseweed, we can't get that, unfortunately. Let's see. Let's switch the thing. Let's switch the field. Let's switch the field. Over to the northern field. Seems to be good. Yep. It's unfarmed, so let's get in here. Let's start the process. We have, of course, the Flesh Ripper on us. Alright, I am pretty low on HP. Should be fine though, should be fine. Also, I was thinking about a, I don't know, interesting idea, maybe? I maybe was thinking about an interesting idea. Basically, I want to treat the World of Warcraft format and the Final Fantasy format as a, Oh, right, loot. Let's do greed, please. I want to treat this format as my podcasting format. Long-term viewers might recognize and remember the Hanacast podcast. In the Hanacast podcast, well, I basically had a podcast and I was talking about all of the things and what happened in the video game genre and all of that stuff. and I am severely missing my podcast. Since this is super chill and I don't really have to like concentrate on this game, especially not on Final Fantasy. I don't really have to concentrate on Final Fantasy. I might want to do this as a podcast. So I don't know really how that would look, but since we are doing gameplay, I might want to do it as a podcast, have like the screen-in-screen function, like this one, have the screen-in-screen function like this one, and have basically an article down there so we can discuss the article while we have the World of Warcraft stream on the other side. So I might want to get into podcasting while we do something like an MMO. And turns out I missed the Pokemon screen, so bear with me while the screen will flash purple for a short second. Let's see here. Let's see if the screen will flash purple for a second. 3, 2, 1, purple. Can we go purple, please? Can we go purple? No? Are we not going purple? Are we not going purple? Oh well, the Pokemon are not working. Unfortunate, the Pokemon are not working this stream. Can I fix it? Let's see, can I fix it? I can't really fix it. Oh, sorry. The Pokemon are unfortunately not on screen this stream. I totally forgot to configure this. Yeah, it can't be recognized. Sad. Oh well. So we don't have a Pokemon on stream for now, so I do apologize for that we do not have the Pokemon currently. So yeah, I might want to treat this as the podcasting session that we can have. So I can talk about a few things in the gaming world, stuff that happens, releases that happen, reviews that happen, controversies that happen. So we have a little bit to talk about. And so I can revive my passion for my podcast again and have a little Hanaka's podcast. How that works in the algorithm? Absolutely no clue. Absolutely no clue. The algorithm will pick this up as video gaming, most likely, and will not pick it up as a podcast. But the content will be a podcast while we do gameplay. So no idea. The podcast would be really tempting, however, to introduce guests into the stream, so we have a guest character on screen, so we can talk about different things with different people, so we get different opinions on things, so we don't only have my opinion on things, because let's face it, my opinion is sometimes really boring and really radical. What the hell? 133? Wow, that was a hit. 133? Are you serious? 133? Yikes. That was a hit. Wow, 133. So yeah, I wanna treat this as a podcast maybe. And I probably will not be able to podcast 5 times a week, because the HanaCast took like a solid 8 hours to prepare, because the HanaCast was actually like moderated with topics and all of that. So I can't really do this 5 times a week. But we might choose a day where we focus on game and podcast at the same time. Now that I talk about this idea out loud, I realize how difficult that sounds, because the podcast actually takes a long time Where is the gore snout that just killed me? There it is, the gore tusk. Let's have some revenge on the gore tusk over there. No, you're not charging me, you bastard. This time you're not. There we go. Oh, it's still alive. And it's dead. Very nice. So yeah, the current schedule that we are not adhering to is Monday, Tuesday is Pokemon Rejuvenation. Wednesday is RimWorld. Thursdays is sometimes a stream, sometimes not. It used to be the plan that we do Findy Indie on Thursday. This never happened. And Friday is Chaos Friday. So, we don't really have a day to put in a podcast. So we might steal the Tuesday and have the Tuesday World of Warcraft Final Fantasy the MMO stream on Tuesday for the foreseeable future as our podcasting day. So we can have a good and light-hearted and sometimes deep discussion about all the things video games, gaming and co. So I want to hear some opinions if we want to do some podcasting style while we stream MMO stuff. Because let's face it, once we focus on the podcasting side of things, gameplay really gets pushed into the background. Because there will be lots of time where we will not be playing. Well, there will be downtime where we will discuss things, topics on the internet and stuff that might take our full attention. So World of Warcraft, while we would stream World of Warcraft as our visual content, it might be returned into the background many times, and there will not be much progress, honestly, on the YouTube, on the gaming side of things. Let's see. Okay, we have two ranged. We have this one right here, so let's kill the archer. Let's kill the archer before the melee comes close to us. The archer is gone. Very good. We still have 200 mana. That's not a lot, but it should be enough to get this guy destroyed. Very good. Now we don't have any mana left. So let's take a hike really quickly. Let's take a hike. Let's get our heal stone used from the other guy. Let's take a short little hike. And once the hike is done, we eat a blood saucy, because that gives us a little bit more spirit. If we are not getting attacked, we're getting attacked. Of course we're getting attacked. Well, we lost the blood saucy. Well, we lost the blood saucy. So yeah, it's that's the plan I have with the World of Warcraft streams. However, that is something that you, the viewers, have to decide. Do you want to see more focused gameplay and like progress in the game, or do you like want to watch this and just have a little bit of discussion on the side? And we are getting destroyed by this guy right here because we don't have mana, and we're diseased for 20 minutes. Spirit -4 minus, the German came out. Yeah. It's up to you, really up to you, the viewers, to decide the direction of the content, because I can't do both. If I do full on concentration on progress, we're definitely faster than if I do a podcast, and if I do a podcast, progress will basically go into the background. But there will be lots of cool things we can talk about. So, because lots of stuff is happening in the video game world and in the tech world. Because HanaCast was not only video games. It was also about the technology side of things. And, well, basically all of my interests in my topics. And we level up at the right moment. Cool. Okay, let's see. We have no green item, unfortunately. Sucky. Okay, let's continue. We need more flesh rippers. We need more of the gore tusks. So let's kill these guys. So what do we need? We need gore tusk snout. Yes. We need boar intestines. Yes. What else do we need? Let's look into our questy boy. We need the handful of oats. We need to return to the fields for that. We need the pocket watch. Oh, right. We need the pocket watch. So the pocket watch was where exactly? The pocket watch should be up here somewhere. No, the pocket watch was down here, right? This is the pocket watch right here. Yeah, I think this is the pocket watch right here. Oh, where is the pocket watch? Let's see. There should be a pocket watch somewhere. Ah, we'll find it eventually. There we go. Flesh Ripper half HP. Alrighty. So another thing that I was planning to do, and this is a total bullshit idea. So don't even agree with this idea. Just disagree with this idea. But you guys know I play a second video game on the side, because once we have a little downtime, then you know what time it is. It's Melvor time! So we play Melvor Idol on the side, and I was thinking about doing, and please disagree with this with this idea, but we use this overlay right here to have Melvor Idol down here and have basically both games on the same time. So that if I play World of Warcraft, you can just look down here and see Melvor Idol playing on the same time, so that you can like see things. Because if we look into Melvor Idol real quickly, you will see, if I'm on Melvor Idol, that I am playing Melvor Idol on the side, and I'm currently doing combat on the side. So you not only could look into World of Warcraft, you could also look down below me and look at Melvor Idol. Please disagree with this idea. This is a terrible idea. Please don't do that. But this is definitely something that I could do, and I could do that really, really easily. Please disagree with this idea. It's terrible. But I think it's quite funny, actually. I think it's quite funny that we would be playing two games at the same time. Please remember, this is an idle game. There will be not much happening. Combat is the most exciting thing that will happen on the side. You will just see a bar go from empty to full, every single time on stream. So might be interesting though. I don't know. What's the commentary on this? You know, come into the chat on Twitch, or like talk to me in the YouTube comments. Is this a good idea? Is this a bad idea? Like, if we were, oh my god, I could do so many things. I not only could do Melvor Idol, I could use this overlay to have like two screens down here. If we're playing co-op with someone, I could do picture in picture and have their picture down here as well. So I can have like the World of Warcraft there, Melvor there, and below that even a picture in picture. Like, I could do so many funky things. So should I? Should I do it? Do you want to, or do you want to like see this in full screen? Because if this would not be in full screen if I do that. And yes, I could like, I have lots of dead space all around me, but I would keep that dead space because it looks nice. So tell me what I need to do. Tell me what I should do. We have the stringy vulture meat, so vultures are already done. However, we have a peace bloom over there and a mage royal. Mage royal is nice. Hello, Sorika. I'm doing pretty well. We're just hanging out and having stupid ideas on stream, of course. But yeah, it's going quite well. The road to Burning Crusade, or preparation for Burning Crusade, is going quite swiftly. A paladin is level 9 and the mage is level 15 right now. So we're doing it slowly but steadily. And our preparation for the Burning Crusade is going quite well. You don't work enough anyway, so why not? That is such a low blow. I don't work enough. Sure, I guess. Sure, I guess. But yeah, that would be another cool idea, that we have like Melvor idle and have like something of a picture-in-picture available for us. Now I don't know how that would fit with the stream chat. So the chat might have to move. The chat might have to move. No idea yet. I'll figure it out over the weekend maybe. Because in 2 weeks, remember, Final Fantasy will happen. But Final Fantasy, in all honesty, is nothing but grinding. So, because Final Fantasy is nothing but grinding, there's not a huge focus, really. There is not a huge focus on the screen, because we will be doing the same thing over and 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 over again. So, it might get a little, like, Pokemon. Yes, I know the Pokemon are not working. The app is open, but I forgot to start the app before the game. And I could get the app to start if I close the game. So if I close the game, it would work. Because I have the Pokemon started right there. They're here, okay? If I put this on the main, you see my screen is going green. The Pokemon are here. They're just not capturing. And I'm sorry, it's just not capturing. They're here, I promise. I can make this work. We have to close World of Warcraft for that, though. We might do that, actually. Let's do that really quickly. Let's go back to this overlay right here. Let's close the Pokemon overlay. Let's fix this life. Let's fix this life. Let's close out World of Warcraft. Now World of Warcraft is not being streamed anymore because Melvor is now streamed. So let's open the Pokemon again. Now it should work. Let's see. Now it should work. So if we now open up the Pokemon app again. Let's see. Hey, there we go. It works. Hello. Can you see me? And now it works. Because now the app is starting. And now the Pokemon appear. But now World of Warcraft needs to be started again. So let's start World of Warcraft again. There we go. As you can see, there is an order of operation to this stream. I can't just like start the stream. I have to do it in a very special order because the programs will not be accepted by the streaming software. It's kind of weird because now the stream needs to search World of Warcraft again. This is why I said this is not the most kind setup for my PC. My PC is basically at its limits currently, because I have to like start the things in order. Otherwise, the PC will not accept what I'm doing. That's basically what I need to do, and that is what I do every single time. That is why the stream usually takes like 15 minutes to do stuff, because I need to start everything in quite the right order. Otherwise, the streaming software just goes, nah, not gonna work. Nah, not gonna work. Nah. So there is a lot more to streaming than just like clicking go live. There is actually a lot of nuance to this, and most of that nuance is quite bullshit. Like, why do I have to start? Why do I have to start the Pokemon software before I start the video game software? I have no idea. I have separated both apps by name. So the apps are separated by the what's it called? The screen, what's it called again? Let me check. By the streaming avatars. So the streaming avatars and World of Warcraft are separate programs. And I've taught my streaming software to look for specific names. Streaming avatars and World of Warcraft. But if you start World of Warcraft first, streaming avatars does not work. But if you start streaming avatars first, World of Warcraft also works. Can we not do that, please? Can we not do that stupid shit? I hate it. I really hate it. And it's really annoying. Like, I'm preparing the stream, you know, I do everything in order, and sometimes stuff just doesn't work. It's just sometimes it just doesn't work. Like, sometimes we have this microphone here. I'm not picking it up because I don't want to like blast your speakers, but we have this microphone here. You can see it right here. We have this microphone here. Let me go bigger. You can see it probably on the big screen. We have this microphone here, okay? We have this beautiful microphone over here. Like, we have this beautiful microphone over here. It goes into the same USB port every single day. It is started the same way every single day. I always start every single thing before I start the streaming software. And sometimes the microphone just doesn't work. Why doesn't it work? Well, turns out streaming software is kind of a bitch. Streaming software does not look for microphone. They look for something called hardware ID. Basically, every single USB device that you plug into your PC has a unique code attached to it. It gets summarized by a few things. It has a vendor ID, a USB ID, and an HID. And this is a very long string. It's a very long string of a hexadecimal. So 0 to 9, A to F. That is a hexadecimal string. And it has a very long string for hexadecimal. So sometimes, just randomly, the PC recognizes, or the software recognizes this as the Honor 900B. That's the name. That's the given name from the vendor. It's the vendor ID name. It's the Honor 900B. But sometimes the streaming software does not translate this to Honor 900B. Sometimes it's just 4FC533 1A 7F, and it just doesn't work. Now, if you go into the drop-down menu in the streaming software, you will find another entry called Honor 900B. So it knows it's there, but it just chose not to translate to Honor 900B. It just chose to make a new entry into your audio devices. And I'm just like, why? Why do you do this to me? And I'm doing this the same way every single time. Every single time, every single day. We're streaming 5 days a week. We're streaming 5 days a week. We used to stream 5 days a week, but I kind of want to get back into 5 days a week streams. And sometimes stuff just breaks. Sometimes stuff just plain breaks. And and it's always audio that breaks. It's never video. It's never the camera. It's never the screen. It's never the capture. It's always audio that just breaks. And then you're like 5 minutes before the stream. You do like, I always snap my fingers to see the voice meter go up and down. No, it never happens in mid-stream. It never happens in mid-stream. It happens at the beginning of the stream every single time. It does not happen in the mid-stream. It always happens at the beginning of the starting of the software. This is the determining factor, the start of the software. And I'm sitting here like going like this because I want to check the audio levels, right? Because this is really, really loud. Like if I clap really loudly, I have a mad loud clap. for whatever reason, I clap really, really, really loudly. So that is sometimes too loud for the microphone to pick up because it has a compressor inside, and very loud noises, except for people shooting in their apartment, will not be picked up by this microphone if the noise is very close to it, most likely. So I do the finger snapping to check the audio levels, and sometimes it just doesn't work. Now, what happens if it doesn't work? Usually I can fix it in the drop down menu. Now, what happens if the drop down menu does not fix it? I can do two things, and both suck. The first thing is very obvious. I can just simply restart the PC. But restarting the PC is really annoying because I have to start this device, this device, this device, this device, because I start these devices by hand. I don't have them always connected. I have my devices hardware locked. So I am disconnecting these hardware devices every single day via a flip switch. So the other solution is to power down the streaming software, disable the switches on the USB device, and re-enable the switches on the USB device, and then restart the software again. Sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. I usually just restart. Now here's another big annoying what the hell moment. I don't even know if I can show this on screen really quickly, but there is a microphone over there. I can probably get the microphone. Let me do this right now, and then I'm gonna get to my point. I've talked about this a few times before, but it's no less stupid. It's probably the most stupidest thing that I do not understand on my PC, but it works. And I have no idea why it's that way. It just is. So let me do really quickly, get these guys killed, get my item over here. There it is. Get my item over here, and then let me explain to you a really stupid thing. Really stupid thing. Okay, so let's have a little bit of regeneration. I'm grabbing something. Let me grab that really quickly. Oh, this is a microphone, unmistakingly. This is a microphone. This is a good old Rode microphone, and it's connected via a 3.5mm jack, and I'm being attacked. Can you not interrupt me while I explain stupid things? Game, please leave me alone. I want to explain stupid things. Can we just simply, like, leave me alone? That would be nice. Great. Wonderful. So, this microphone is connected, or was connected, as you can see, via this 3.5mm jack. And this microphone is really good. It's a shotgun microphone. Basically, you point it at things and it can be hundreds of meters away. You can hear it. It's a really good microphone. Wasn't cheap as well. So it's a Rode. It's not a cheap thing. However, if you connect this to the camera, the camera will capture the sound and then transmit it over the capture card to the PC. So the audio that you would be listening to would not come from this microphone, it would come from this microphone. But why am I not using it? A, because it's battery powered and I hate battery powered stuff, but B, the sound connected to the camera would make the camera stutter. And it would stutter like this, and audio would so audio would stutter and video would stutter. Now, how do you fix this? And this is the the most stupid fix I have ever seen in my life. It works. I have no idea why it works. I'm not doing it. If you start the Android emulation software BlueStacks and have BlueStacks running in the background, the microphone works on my capture card. What? Why does a Android emulation software fix the stuttering on a microphone attached to a camera via a capture card? It's like it works. It does work. I can replicate it. It's 100% a fix. No idea. I've been interested in tech all my life. I have built my first PC when I was 4 years old. I have disassembled my first PC when I was 3 years old. I have a lifelong passion in hardware, software, computers, and all that, and all those things. I can't understand this at all. I can't understand this. How a Android emulation software can fix a camera and a microphone captured over a capture card. It doesn't make any sense to me at all. And I have to toot my nose because the Polanski is attacking me. It does not make any sense. Yes, I've built my first PC when I was 4 years old. We built a... What was it again? We built an IBM 44 megahertz? I believe IBM 44 megahertz is what we built back then. Like a real old machine. We had an Atari 2600. That one I just used. And we had, I believe, was an IBM 44 megahertz. I believe. And my first real computer was a Pentium.
Hey there.
Oh my god, was it a Pentium 144 megahertz? Might be. I still have, and I can show this. I can show this. I still have my very first real PC processor here, and I'm confident it would work, but I still have my processor over here. I don't know if you can see it. Can I make it like a little bit bigger? I still have this processor over here, and it's basically, there we go. It is a Intel Celeron Pentium 4. This is a Pentium 4 Celeron. This thing is, I don't want to lie, this thing is probably 17 years old? No, older. No. 27 years old. This thing is probably 27 years old, and I'm pretty sure this is still functional. The pads are not scratched at all. It looks perfect. It looks absolutely perfect. So I'm pretty sure this this Pentium would still work. It's 27 years old. These things don't go bad. These things don't die. However, I want to make this into a keychain. I want to drill out one corner, and I want to, of course, like de-sharpen these corners because they are really pointy. But I want to make this into a keychain. I think that would be a really, really cool keychain. To have like the processor as the keychain. Now, let's look into more stuff. We need some Murloc guys. So let's get down to the beach and have some Murloc guys killed. Alrighty, we got a 8-slot bag. No, it's a 4-slot bag. It's one of the worst bags in the game, correct. Alright, we have 2 silver leaves to attend to. That would be really nice because we are on 98 herbalism and we need a little bit more. Somebody cleared out this camp right here, which is nice. So let's get this. We should have an earth root there too. That's cool. Alrighty, let's get over there. Let's get the earth root and the silver. Should be right around there. Alright. Yeah, I want to make this into a keychain. I think that would be really, really cool. Like, of course, deburr the corners because they're like really sharp. Again, this thing would still work. I'm pretty sure that thing would still work. A CPU usually doesn't go bad. These things are rock solid. Intel has been producing these things for like 40 years at this point. These things are rock solid. These don't go bad. Of course, don't touch it. That might like ruin the pad with your fingers and with your oils. But I want to make this into a keychain because I think this would be quite the cool keychain. It's quite heavy for a keychain. This is probably like a solid 300 grams, like 200-300 grams. This is quite a heavy little thing. But I think that would make a cool keychain. Another Murloc is coming. Can we get the Frostbolt off? We can. Let's go kill Nova. And let's kill that Coast Runner over there. Oh, we are getting another ad. Let's use the sheep. Sheep is in. Let's kill that Murloc over there. Let's wait out that sheep. Because, oh, something put it out of that sheep. Okay. This sucks. Can we outrun this guy? We still don't have Blink. We're still missing Blink. Let's get this skilled over there. We should survive. We should survive, I think. But yeah, cool thing. This was my first real PC that I had, and it was this Intel Celeron, Pentium 4 Celeron. I believe we had back then that was amazing. I believe we had 128 megabytes of RAM. We had 2 sticks, I know that. I believe we had 2 sticks of 64 megabytes of RAM. What else did we have? We had a 8 gigabyte hard drive, which was amazing. Like, having an 8 gigabyte hard drive was expensive. That shit was expensive, holy shit. What else did we have? We had, I believe, 3 CD drives. We had 2 at least. If you had 2 CD drives, you probably know why you had 2 CD drives. Back then, burning CDs was a bit trickier than it was today. Making ISOs didn't really exist back then. So you had to have 1 CD ROM drive for reading the disk, and you had to have 1 drive to burn the disk. That was basically how the early PC world worked. And I think we had a 3rd one because sometimes you had to do like a copyright CD, so you had to like trick the system so you can read the data off of it. There were so many shenanigans that we did back then. Truly terrible stuff. Terrible stuff that we did back then. Terrible stuff. But yeah, that's how we did. What else did we have? We had definitely a whole slew of mice back then, because mice broke a lot of times. So mice weren't the most highest quality of things. Oh, we have 3 Murloc guys. We can leave. Cool. We can leave. Very, very nice. Okay. So we have done every single quest that we can do. So let's get those quests turned in and get into Westfall. Coolly. What else did we have back then? I know the monitor that we have, because I should still have that monitor, but not here. It's probably at the old bunker where I used to live at. I should still have the old monitor. It was a 4x3 monitor, and the maximum resolution of that thing was 640 by 480. Yes, That was the resolution. It was a VGA, I believe, DVI-D port. The DVI port with the 2 prongs, that one. What else did we have? What else did we have? I think that was it. We had the most bog standard keyboard. However, the keyboard was pretty nice. The keyboard had media controls on it. That is not something that was like truly self-explanatory in the early 90s, in the late 90s, to having a keyboard with media controls. That was freaking sick, yo. And I don't know what the keyboard was called, but the keyboard was this beige keyboard with a blue strip on top, and the blue plastic strip was basically like in a wave pattern, and in this wave pattern there was the media hotkeys in there. It was a great keyboard. I used that one for years and years and years and years and years and years. That was a really good keyboard. We've turned everything here in. Let's get to Sentinel Hill and get Sentinel Hill finally started. Great. Alright. I believe that was the setup. I know the ending of that setup as well, because there was a game that I wanted to play, and this game did not support 4:3. This game only supported 16:9, so widescreen aspect ratio. So this game did not support small screen aspect ratio. So what game was it? I remember this very fondly because I was so disappointed that I could not play the game. And we actually bought a second-hand monitor that day to get me started into playing this game. And this game was Warcraft 3. Warcraft 3 was the game that forced me to update my monitor because my monitor was not good enough to play a video game. Quite funny how that sounds, right? You upgrade your PC monitor to play a video game. This does not happen these days. Like, modern resolutions support basically everything from the highest potato to the lowest potato. Yeah, you can have the worst, like, moldy potato of the world, or you could have like this nicest pomme puree and it will support just everything. Well, not in the 90s, early 2000s, it did not. And Warcraft 3 forced me to get a new monitor. And Warcraft 3 was a great game. Warcraft 3 was my first real interaction with multiplayer, with online activity, and with being shit on. Because, man, if you're 11 and you're using the internet for the first time, and no, these things didn't exist back then. We just had the internet on the PC. And if you had internet, you couldn't use the telephone because dial-up.
Need help?
And the first time you are a German-speaking kid, you know, you're a German-speaking kid, you're there, and like, people are talking in a language that you do not recognize.
You need something?
And then it clicks. Wait a second. I know this language from Cartoon Network. It's English. So people were talking English. And that was the first time I realized that there are more languages than German out there. And well, it basically forced me to learn English on my own for reals, so that I could defend myself being shit on. Because the online community back then only talked English. And then you had the French, of course, who spoke nothing but French, because French people refuse to this day. French people refuse to this day to speak English. They wanna They wanna talk French. France, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you, French people? Why do you insist? Why do you insist on speaking French? Just talk English like the rest of the world. Nobody likes you because of that. Change your ways, please. Please. We have the quest of Defias Brotherhood. Do we need to go to Lakeshire? We do need to go to Lakeshire. Very cool. So, let's go to Lakeshire and get this quest started. And we have a little bit of downtime. And you know what time it is? It's Melvor time! Because we actually need to look into Melvor.
How are you?
So, let's fly to Lakeshire, because in my infinite wisdom, I already got the flight point. So let's take our nice little Melvor time over here. And let's see. I'm currently doing Slayer tasks. So that means I'm currently building up my Slayer skill level, and it needs to reach level 60. We're currently in level 57. So we need to kill a few more Slayer tasks. But if you look into here, we're not really getting any Slayer experience. Why are we not getting any Slayer experience? We're getting a very low amount. But we need to start a new Slayer task. Once we start a new Slayer task and we kill this thing, we get a lot more Slayer points. But we can't get this one because we need the mirror shield. So let's let this one out, and we have a Master Wizard. So let's attack the Master Wizard now. There is the Master Wizard, and once we kill that Master Wizard, we get 62 Slayer skill. So we get a lot more Slayer experience if we have a Slayer task ready. We also have this, your ships have returned. So let's look into our ships right here, and let's get the loot from our ships. Water chests are actually the worst chests. We need earth chests. So earth chests is really, really nice. So another 3 earth chests, that's really, really, really cool. And another fire chest. So this one wasn't so bad and so good. So let's take another port, because this takes a really long time to do. So let's go back to King's Landing. Let's go back to King's Landing, because after this stream, we are ending the day pretty much immediately. So this takes hours and upon hours and upon hours. So let's take King's Landing as our destination. And as you can see, it now takes 14 hours to do. We can take another cape that would make this much, much, much better. So let's get into a different gear set that we have. This one, and see there. It now, is that the right cape or is that the wrong cape? It now takes 12 hours only. So let's get on the trippy sail, and then let's get back into our combat armor, because we are getting our butts kicked without our combat armor. Then we need to do farming, because we still need to do the carrot quest. So we need 500,000 carrots. We have 366,000. So let's get the carrots planted. And that is our Melvor idol. And we can continue with the World of Warcraft. Very, very cool. Melvor idol. Really nice game. Don't buy it on full price. That is about 30 euros. That's not really worth your money. However, if Melvor idol comes into sale, it's round about 14 euros. And for 14 euros, I think Melvor idol is really, really cool. And it's pretty much worth your money. In my opinion. It's something nice to do. You can do it on your phone as well. If you buy the Steam version, you can use your Steam version on your phone as well, which is really, really, really nice. So you have an easy time managing your stuff, and when you come back home, you can manage it back on the PC. So Melvor idol is pretty cool, and for the half price of 14 euros, I can wholeheartedly recommend Melvor idol. For that price, I think it's really, really, really good. Alrighty, so let's just accept every single quest, because we are already level 15. And yeah. We have the price of shoes, so we need to go back to Goldshire. I think we're not gonna do the price of shoes currently. We do have the half stone. So let's do the price of shoes. So we need to walk back to... but Stormwind is also... We need messenger to Stormwind. So let's go to Stormwind first. Yeah, let's go to Stormwind first. Can we get... Oh no, that's Ghasthrield's sock. Oh, we can still accept it. Cool, okay. Very nice. Oh, the Red Ridge quests are soon yellow as well. Oh, that's cool. So that means we can do Red Ridge pretty soon too. But we're still stuck in... Hey, Auction 1. Very cool. Very cool. More linen. More leveling up the tailoring. Very cool. Let's get Fangor accepted. We can do these quests probably next week in the earliest. Because these are like level 25 quests. 22, 25. So these quests do take a long time. We need to go up the level. There should be someone for our quest over there. Very cool. Willie the Black. Let's get this moving. Very cool. So we need to head into Stormwind at least once. And we need to head back into Westfall. Yes. We need to head back to Stormwind and back to Westfall. We'll fly to Stormwind. We'll fly to Stormwind. And we'll walk down to Goldshire and then teleport back to Westfall. I think that's a good order of operation. Let's see. What is the Red Ridge Goulash?
Well met.
The Red Ridge Goulash. Okay, sure. Let's look at this. This is the price of shoes. So this is definitely doable. This is the state of Lakeshire. This is back to Stormwind. This is Parker's lunch. Parker is over there. Okay, so we have to do a little bit of walking, actually. We have to do just a tiny bit of walking, and this is Wiley's note. Wonderful. Okay, so let's do a little bit of walking to get Parker his meal. Then we return back. Stormwind, Goldshire, Westfall. And since we have a lot of downtime, you know what time it is! It's Malvor time! Actually, we don't need to manage Malvor, we just did. But, yeah, I'm probably gonna prepare a picture-in-picture with Malvor. So we can have Malvor be in here. I mean, we could simply remove the keyboard screen. We can remove the keyboard screen. But then again, if we remove the keyboard screen, we can just simply do, like, we can simply use this overlay and make it look nice and have, like, triple the screens over here and have, like, this really, really cleanly. So we can just use this overlay, really. So we might just simply use this. Or shall we just have 3 screens on here and have them, like, top to bottom? That's also possible. That's also possible. That would mean we would not be losing so much dead space.
Be careful. Go with honor, friend.
So that would not be so much dead space. So if we're actually like building the picture-in-picture and the Malvor overlay, are we using this one? Like the big screen one? And have everything overlaid on top of the screen? Or are we using this one where every single screen has its own privileged space? So which style are we going for? Are we going with the privileged space over here? Or are we going into the picture-in-picture full screen over there? Again, please tell me. I need to know. Because I can do both. I can do both. However, we need to like decide on one screen. Preparing both is possible, but that's a lot of work. So choose one. You need to choose one of the screens, if we shall do it. You could also just simply say, no, fuck you, don't do that. I just want to see World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy, and don't do picture-in-picture. Because you're an idiot, you're German, and you should not be doing this. Totally valid point. Absolutely valid point. Absolutely valid. And since we have a little bit of downtime, you know what time it is? It's Malvor time! So let's look into our mages. We almost did kill all of the mages, so we need to jump to the next task soon. Let's see. The flight to Stormwind will not take as long. What I definitely want to buy with my Slayer coins on the left side, we have about 100,000 Slayer coins. If I go into the shop, won't say anything. No, you have to say anything because you people have choice. And I want to buy this, the Auto Slayer. So we automatically fight new Slayer tasks so we can let it idle. If we can let it idle, that would be really, really nice because currently we're manually choosing a new enemy every single time. And that costs a lot of time. We're still flying, so let's look back at Melvor. But yeah, please do say something because I need some input. I need some input over there. Alright, everything here is pretty cool though. Loot wise, let's see. We have to sort a little bit of loot. We got quite a lot of armor over here. So we got quite a little bit of armor. We got a cape, which has ammo preservation. That's pretty dope. We got a new bow. Alright. We got a burnt cave fish. This is actually a part of a quest. So this is really nice that we got this. This is part of a quest. First, let's look into here. Okay, we are landing soon. So let's take over World of Warcraft once again. Alrighty. So what do we have to do here? We have to go into the front, and that is what we shall do. And then take our hike down to Goldshire. Yeah, that's a good plan. That's a really good plan. I also want to look into wool. However, I checked the prices of wool. And wool is usually a stack per 80 silver. That's quite expensive. I can't really afford the cost currently. Yeah, I can't really like afford the cost currently of wool. However, I can see that the UI is a little bit over my interface. So we need to bring this up just a tiny bit. Funnily enough, World of Warcraft used to not have a configurable interface. And Final Fantasy happened. And I believe it was Dragonflight. Dragonflight gave players the option to move around their interface. And guess what? The interface of World of Warcraft's Dragonflight looks exactly the same like Final Fantasy. So, in essence, this game existed first, and Final Fantasy took a lot of inspiration from this game, and now that Final Fantasy is technically the better game, World of Warcraft takes inspiration from Final Fantasy. It's quite funny. The Dragonflight interface basically looks exactly the same like the Final Fantasy interface, and how the arrangement of all of the things work looks also exactly the same like Final Fantasy. So when the teacher becomes the student and the student teaches the teacher, right? So it was quite the funny revelation when I logged into Dragonflight and I saw that you can move the inventory and the interface, and that the new interface looks exactly like Final Fantasy. It was quite funny. Sure, it was not pixel perfect, but the overall spirit of the interface is basically exactly the same. It's like exactly the same. However, once we reach Goldshire and once we teleport back to Westfall, we will end today's episode because tomorrow is a busy and long day and I have to end the episode quite early after like a little bit over an hour. So let's have a few more management things and then we unfortunately have to log off already. So let's have the price of shoes.
What can I do for you?
Let's have the price of shoes. There we go. And we need to go back to Redridge, so we're gonna do that still. We have we did not do Messenger to Stormwind. Did we do bad? No, we did not do bad. We should have Messenger to Stormwind. Take, respond, Magistrate, Solomon, and Lakeshire. Oh, we need to go back to Lakeshire. Sure. So let's head on over back to Lakeshire because we need to have 2 Lakeshire quests. Right. Let's turn back to Lakeshire. So we're still gonna go fly there. We're gonna include that in the episode. And since we're flying, we have a little bit of downtime. So say it for me. Good. You did well. You said it for me. Let's get this quest turned in.
Light bless you for the Alliance.
Alright, now we have to get to the Korea. No, we have to go to Stormwind again, which is fine. We have to go to Stormwind again, is that correct? Yep, we need to go to Stormwind over here, to Matthias Shaw, which is our rogue master in World of Warcraft Stormwind. So let's go back to Lakeshire. You know what time it is. And back to Melvor we go. And now we are at 100,000, but the Slayer task is over. And we're not gaining enough Slayer experience because we need to jump to this ice monster manually. So we have to kill 274 of these guys for the next Slayer tasks to appear. Let's look at combat in Melvor, because combat, I did not understand how combat works at all. Basically, you have multiple types of weapons. In this case, I have a saber equipped, and I have different weapons over here. You can have 3 different attack styles in Melvor. You can have stab, you can have slash, and you can have block. Each of these things, of course, is a skill in this game. However, by using stab, you're leveling stab as a skill. Stab is responsible for you getting new weapons available to you. Slash improves your strength. Strength improves your damage that you deal. And block is the amount of HP and reduce you have. However, I just noticed that we have 76 in attack level. So that means I go into my bank, I go into my weapons stash over here, and I have a few weapons of choice. There's the Sunset Rapier, which is one of the best attacks in the game. However, the Sunset Stab does not equal for experience. So while this does an immense amount of damage, we might lose experience with this thing. However, if we look into the Ancient Sword, that's level 70, it's Life Leech 100%. So we're getting 20% more Life Leech, which is really, really nice. And we have the Twin Exiles. These are 2-hand, and we would be losing 5% damage reduction, but we would be getting a lot of damage. Currently, I think we are surviving quite a lot. So let's take this thing. Now we have the Twin Exiles equipped. And if we look into it, it is a stab and a slash weapon. So let's look back into our combat. And this attack interval right here is a dual attack. We do dual 75% damage. So in essence, we're doing 150% damage with this. And if we are not dying, we're good. The enemy has a maximum hit of a nice 69. We have a auto eat of 323. So that means if the enemy attack is lower than this number right here, we cannot die because the system will automatically eat food to heal us. So if our health is above the maximum available hit of our enemy, we cannot die. So that means pushing damage. And this is what we do right here. We push damage. That's Melvor DPS in a nutshell. Really, really cool. Let's get moving. Melvor Idol is really great. It has a lot of nuance to it when it comes to fighting and combat, but it's really, really, really cool. So I wholeheartedly recommend it, and I'll try to build a interface so that you can permanently see Melvor Idol on the site when we do boring things like running around, of course, and leveling and all of that stuff. When we do like the exciting things like raiding, of course there will be no exile, there will be no like Melvor idol on the side. Of course, we're gonna focus on the game. But this is not really like exciting content, let's call it. And if there was something else on the screen happening, it might be really cool to look at. So I'll prepare that. Maybe I can prepare it until tomorrow. No promises, because I have a busy day tomorrow.
For the Alliance.
But if I can, it might look quite funny. So we need to go back to Westfall now, but we also need to go back to Stormwind. We still have something to turn in here. Yes, we still have something to turn here. And visiting the herbalist right over there. So yeah, I'll try to manage that so you can see what happens on the screen. Melvor Idol overall is not exciting to look at, but it's something to look at. Might be a funny thing. Would definitely be unique. I don't think any World of Warcraft video, graph, streamer, whatever, would actually like stream Melvor Idol at the same time. So I don't really think that is something that someone else does. Probably for a good reason, because it's honestly quite the stupid thing, because we would be thoroughly confusing the algorithm why there are two games on the screen. The algorithm would probably go, what are you doing? So it might be a really stupid idea. Might be really stupid. Might be. But might also not be really stupid. Since we are known on the stream to go into overtime, I want to go into a little bit of overtime, because if you look at the bar down here, we are quite close to leveling up. So I want to kill a few monsters so we can level up, because then we have the magic level 16. Every 2 levels we get new skills. So if we reach level 16, we can get new skills. And since we have to fly to Stormwind anyways, might as well get the new skills, right? You're unique. That is a very nice way of saying absolutely useless. Absolutely useless. Being unique does not equal being good. And that was a hard hit. Yeah, being unique does not mean you're actually, like, good. Because that's why you're unique. Yeah. Okay, we got a Great Snore Snout. So we keep this one. We keep this one because we need it for the Red Ridge Goulash. And this one is charging at us. I don't like to be charged at. Let's kill that one. How much experience do you give? Oh no, you're charging. Oh no, don't touch me. Don't touch me. That's a charge. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't touch my no-no spot. Don't touch my no-no spot, please. No. Nice damage. Nice damage. I did not see how much experience we got. How much experience did we get? No idea. The combat log actually doesn't log experience. The combat log actually doesn't log experience, so no idea how much experience we got. Let's see, how much do we need? We need 704. 704. Let's take a real close look at being charged at. I don't want to be charged at. Thank you very much. And it is how much experience? 132. That's not bad. That is 4 kills. Rough math, 4 kills. No, it's 5 kills. I believe it's 5 kills. My math is failing me. It might be 4 kills. It might be 4 kills. Let's see what the whelp gives us. The whelp, of course, is a caster and hurts like hell. And I did not check how much experience it was. It was 132 again. Okay, it was 132 again. So, by calculation, it is 4. Yes, it is 4 additional kills. However, these guys are casters. And this caster hurts like hell. These things hurt like ever living hell. It's 31% damage. Wow. I don't like fighting casters. Can I not fight casters? That would be nice. Losing 30% of life in one shot is a little high. A little high. My gear is trash. Let's agree on that. My gear is absolute utter trash. But losing 30... Ow, ah, yeah, yeah, yeah. Ooh, ow, ooh, 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 ow, ooh, ooh. Oh, I'm gonna take a heal pot. I'm gonna take a heal pot. Oh, I'm being charged at. Ouch. Stop that, please. Go away. Go away. I don't wanna do this. Go away, please. We shouldn't be here. We're kinda under-leveled. We're kinda mega under-leveled. We're kinda mega super duper under-leveled for this. We shouldn't be here. We need 2 more kills. 2 more kills, or no, we don't actually need 2 more kills. We can just go turn in the Brotherhood quest and probably receive enough experience once we turn in the Brotherhood quest. So let's do that. Because we shouldn't be here. The game is telling us we shouldn't be here. Let's look at this damage. Oh my god, 30% damage. And another 30% damage. Oh my god, it's so much damage. Yeah, we shouldn't be here. I kinda... Honestly, after having leveled a hunter, I kinda miss the power of my pet. Because the pet was kinda amazing. I truly miss the power of the pet. So... Not gonna lie, Hunter is pretty strong in the open world. It was a fox, but it truly wasn't a fox because it actually was a wolf, because foxes don't exist in Classic. So if we even were to make a hunter, unfortunately there would be no foxes in this version, because this is Classic Anniversary. There are no foxes in this version. Foxes come in the Mists of Pandaria, which is the 5th add-on of this game. And Mists of Pandaria was trash. Absolute utter trash. Oh my god, Pandaria was so bad. It played badly, it rated badly, it looked badly, it felt badly. Pandaria was utter trash. Utter trash. And Melvor is doing quite nicely since we're flying. You know what time it is? It's Melvor time. And we're doing quite nicely. We already killed 150 ice monsters in Melvor. So the Twin Exiles are doing quite well. And we're leveling the attack to an 85. Why are we leveling attack to an 85? And we had a spammer scammer, and Saribot killed the spammer scammer. Very nice. Thank you very much. Good bot. Why are we leveling to 85? Well, because of the ships, we have reached a weapon we shouldn't have. The ships are, of course, a mod, and we reached weapons that we shouldn't have. The God Swords over here. And these God Swords can be combined into the Ultima God Swords, but they need level 85. And these swords are basically the non-plus ultra in the game. Basically the non-plus ultra in the game. But if you have 5 of all of the God Swords, you can make the Ultima God Swords, which combines all 5 swords into one. And then you have like the best weapon in the game until the finishing of the game, where the new best weapon drops. But this is probably the best weapon in the game. So, by sending my ships into King's Landing, I get these things right here. I don't have them right now, but scrolls of earth, water, fire, and air. So I get scrolls. And these scrolls have loot in them, and this loot corresponds to maybe the god swords. They also correspond to the god gear, so god gear is most likely in there. But once I have all 5 god swords, and I still have only 3 of them out of 4, but I need 5 of each. So I am still missing a lot of god swords, but these swords are the best weapons in the game. So that is why we sent the ships to the King's Landing, even though we don't really need the experience anymore of King's Landing. We still do it. And we landed, so let's continue the Warcraft situation. Well, yeah, that is why we are currently leveling our stab value, so we can take the god swords, so we can like totally rock the enemies. Like the Ultima god sword, of course, is much better, but at least having a god sword is better than any other weapon that you can reach so far. So it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Now, let's get into Medea Shaw, and then be level up, go to our mage trainer, and then we're gonna finish up the episode once we visited our mage trainer. Alrighty. We have 65 cloth. How much experience can I still get from cloth? Not that much anymore, so I'm pretty much getting to the limit of what cloth can do. Yeah, I'm getting to the limit of what cloth can do. So I need to switch to wool pretty soon. But getting wool is terribly expensive. So I might not be able to level up tailoring as soon as I want to. And somebody killed Onyxia. Right, was it Onyxia? Yep. We got Nefarian killed, okay. This is a huge bias to melee or physical characters of World of Warcraft. We got one of the best buffs in the game. We got a free 140 attack power. Free 140 attack power. And 10% critical for spells. Now we have a 13% critical now with our mage. You could say, well, 10% critical is really good, right? Well, critical is only really worth something if you crit. So that means the other 90% of the time, if we don't crit, the 10% don't bring any value to a mage player. To a magical player. To a magic player. However, the melees are so heavily preferred in this game, or the physical damage dealer, because they get 140 base attack power, so their base attack is increased all the time for 2 hours, while the magical characters have a 10% crit for 2 hours that only happens and only is worth something if you crit. So by this buff, physical characters are heavily favored. Heavily favored. It's one of my gripes that I have with the Classic Anniversary, which Turtle managed to be better at. Because Turtle took many aspects of the base game and buffed them. And in my opinion, that's the right thing to do. Because Classic, as much as people like it, and I do like it, Classic is not a good game. At least not by today's standards. Compared to what's out there, Classic is not a good game. It's still fun, don't get me wrong. Classic is immensely fun. But it's slow. It's quite difficult. As you can see, I die with like 3 shots from these mages. It's really hard. And the balancing of Classic is awful. The balancing of Classic is absolutely awful. Awful.
Farewell.
Alright, we have another mage quest. We'll take care of the mage quest someday. We don't need arcane missiles. We don't need detect magic. We need flame strike? Yeah, sure. Let's take flame strike. Flame strike might be really cool. Flame strike is this. You cast a flame strike on the ground, and it burns the enemies, and it leaves a damage over time zone. So this is pretty cool. This might be useful once we get into a dungeon. This might be really, really useful. However, I said once we visited the trainer, we're going to turn off the episode, which is true. We are going to turn off the episode today. So, thank you very much for watching. Please let me know in the comments on YouTube what the Melvor idea entails to, or the podcast idea. We talked a lot about things we can do on the stream, so you have quite a lot of decision power in the comment section down below. And if you want to discuss it live with me, yeah, well, you know where to find me. Become a Pokemon, come into the chat, have a chat right here, and have a good time. So, thank you very much for watching. We'll see each other next time, probably tomorrow. We'll do another World of Warcraft episode, All Roads Lead to Westfall Part 2. And until the next time, goodbye. Ciao, ciao.